Hi again. This is Libby Kevalakis with Pivot Transformational Business Coaching. We had such great response and learned so much from Juliann Finch Castell that we wanted to bring her back again and talk about what does it take to be an excellent consultant. She has certifications in both project management and change management and worked at the top consulting firms. And I know we have a lot of small businesses who call themselves consultants. And I think Julianne can provide some insights and some tricks of the trade that'll really help you up your game and serve your clients better. So, again, without further ado, here's Julianne. Hello again, Julianne.
Hi, Libby. Good to see you.
Great to see you again, too. So, this time we're going to go behind the scenes of what it takes to be a great consultant. I mean, you've done it at such a high level with, I'm just going to say it, big stakes. You know, the clients you've worked with have had significant stakeholders, big odds on their success was needed. And by the way, that was something I always loved about working with the public sector. You felt like you made an impact because it affected so many people. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have the opportunity to have really large stakeholder groups. Like I've worked with the US IRS, and that was thousands of employees, as well as the defense work that I've done in the States as well as in Canada. So it's always an amazing opportunity to have such an impact on a large group of stakeholders. So the topic is management consulting and being a good consultant. So as I talked about before, Libby, when you and I grew up in the consulting industry, it was all about building your toolbox. And some of the big, it used to be big six, then big four, large firms or even the boutique firms did an amazing job at pulling together methodologies and just helping new consultants get up to speed. So we used to have Consultant 101. I worked
Yeah.
with large firms that we had Consulting U, so Consulting University, and every year we had to go and we'd have a couple of days of amazing courses. So I've had courses in everything from business process reengineering, change management. When I became a manager, we had Lou Holtz come in and speak to us, and he was Notre Dame's Fighting Irish coach. They invested a lot, and I think that's changed. So now consultants don't necessarily have the toolbox from a firm. Some of them are on their own. So there's some great resources out there to help them build that toolbox. So one of the first things I probably say is find a coach and a mentor. Ta-da!
That's me. That's where I come in, right? So, well, former consultant, now a business coach. So,
Absolutely. So finding a coach and a mentor is critical. Um, Somebody the other day was talking about what is the difference between a colleague and a coach slash mentor. And I thought this was interesting. So a colleague, sometimes you're not ready to hear the tough love from, and they're not going to give you the to-dos to help up your game, or many, unless you work with somebody that naturally has that coaching ability. So your colleague's gonna give you sometimes what you want to hear in terms of feedback, and they're gonna provide that support. A coach and a mentor is going to listen objectively and probably, Libby, you're an expert at this, give you, the tough love sometimes, and also the action for how to improve. Am I right?
absolutely. And also just holding them accountable for doing the actions. That's the biggest part. You know, everyone probably knows what to do, but very few will actually do it.
You're right. The accountability is huge. So
Huge.
that's like a number one thing. I think the coach and a mentor is like critical or very important. There are also a number of online resources and courses that you can go to that on your own time you can take. I mean, everybody now is moving to AI and trying to understand the impact of AI. So when you're looking at LinkedIn, I was shocked that within the last year I knew so many people that all of a sudden their description was around AI. And I thought, wow, that's pretty fast upskilling there. But you can do it. You can, get a lot of training and learning on your own. So I would encourage people to do that for sure. And there's nothing like the on-the-job training. So
Right.
again, working with colleagues, working with people that are more senior to you, and teams where you can hone your skills and be in the trenches to get those the deep knowledge that you need.
And when you're a small business and you want to do consulting, if you're not already an expert in that field, this is where we always talk about teaming. Team with another company that has the expertise or has what's missing in you. It may be a couple dollars less this time around, but then you can roll out and take that knowledge and spin it off as one of your service lines too.
Absolutely. And that's where networking really comes into play. So I encourage people to constantly, stay in touch with their network. So you've worked on a client engagement, you've potentially worked with other service providers. It's a really great opportunity to make sure that you connect with them on LinkedIn or another platform, you get their emails, and you stay in touch. Those networks, the informal coffee, even, we're post-COVID now, you can go out for your coffee. I encourage people to do that for their mental sanity. Go in and keep those connections alive and have the discussions around what you're working on, what your goals and objectives are in terms of if you've had, an objective is something that you actively want to achieve by doing something. So you don't have a goal or an objective if you have no plans of ever getting there. So I can't say I have an objective of losing weight and then I'm sitting and eating some bonbons. So if my objective and goal is to lose weight, I actually have to be actively doing something to get there. So if I want to expand my business, I have to have a plan in place, and part of that plan is around networking and making connections with not only potential business opportunities, but also, like you said, Libby, with those that I would like to partner with, unless you're just always wanting to be a one woman or man show.
Which, again, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a
Absolutely.
wonderful way to live if you could support yourself being a sole proprietor or doing individualized consulting. That's an easy life.
Yeah, absolutely. I have been very successful for very many years being a S.M.E or subject matter expert and an executive consultant working with large firms. And how I've been able to do that is because I've maintained great relationships with colleagues that work with those firms now or people that I have worked with that are at those firms. So if they need somebody in the change management, space, they reach out. So like,
And that's really where what was the old adage? It's 2 proposals, 1 engagement makes you an expert.
I
I
don't
heard
know
that way
if I
back
still
when, it
credit
cracks
when my
me up.
clients introduce me as an expert. I guess after you've been in the business for 20 years, I guess maybe I am an expert.
Why not? Why not? Just claim it.
It's not just Einstein.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go.
Your talents come out once you've taken all the training, had the experiences. Now you're aware of what you're learning, you're aware of what you're doing. You can now build and expand upon the foundation.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel really, I feel fortunate to have a toolbox that is really full with not only tools, but experiences and stories that I can share with clients because it lends credibility to the work that I try to do with my clients. So I think that it also gives them a comfort factor that I've been successful with other clients. So that's important as well, that you be able to have those stories about when you've been successful as a consultant and what you've done for your clients and how your clients have been able to deliver, to use and adopt whether it's a new tool or a new process, a new organization. So how have your clients been successful that you've worked with?
Yeah, and it establishes your credibility, which is the number one thing you need to do right off the bat, because 'cause they're not gonna have your resume in front of you. They most likely did not read your proposal,
Yeah,
but being able to come in strong and demonstrate that you've done this before and you've done it successfully,
yeah,
through the stories and just through building up credibility is so critical because that's gonna set the tone for the whole engagement.
exactly.
Okay, well, from one expert to another.
There you
With
go.
so many brain cells came out today. It was almost
Absolutely.
yeah, I think I've got 1 or 2 left to say. Reach out to Juliann Finch Castell at juliann@jfcconsulting.ca or check her out on LinkedIn. And thank you again for taking the time to speak with us today.
As always.
Okay, thank you.